this episode of Barbecue Pitmasters.
At stake, the biggest prize in barbecue, $100,000 and the Kingsford Cup. You'll all be cooking turducken.
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 Turducken. You got a turkey. You shove a duck in there, and just for good measure, you shove a chicken in there, too.
They are not going to throw another challenge at us right now.
Frog legs.
Frog legs?
Frog legs? Are you me?
I can't wait to face the judges and see what they have to say about this food.
This vulgar piece of slab of something on a plate.
I'm pretty proud of it for a first-time cook.
If I could, I'd send every one of you's ass home.
They weren't nice at all.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kevin Roberts, and welcome to Barbecue Pitmasters. Over the next 10 hours, our championship teams are cooking the most complicated barbecue dish imaginable, turducken. That's right, it's a whole chicken stuffed inside of a whole duck, stuffed inside of a whole turkey. And here to judge the Pitmasters are some serious experts. Best-selling author and Southern Cooking Zone chef Art Smith, Super Bowl champion of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and big-time barbecue connoisseur Warren Sapp. And finally, the winningest man in competitive barbecue history, three-time world champion, Mr. Myron Mixon. Let's meet our Pitmasters who are fired up and ready to go. Our first team from Owen Mills, Maryland, five-time barbecue champions, Dan Hickson and 3 Eyes Barbecue.
3 Eyes Barbecue has been a team for about 4.5 years now. We've won 6 grand championships, 6 reserve grand championships, about 135 top 10 awards. To come out here for this competition is really a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Today we'll be cooking on a mixture of a insulated water smoker, a direct grill setup, and an offset smoker to some additional firepower if we need it.
All right, our second team from Grimes, Iowa, a 15-year barbecue vet, Shad Curtin, otherwise known as a boy in his barbecue.
I've been barbecuing for 15 years. I live and breathe barbecue 24/7. Today I'm going to be cooking on 2 offset smokers, a pellet smoker, and 2 large kettle grills. With a variety of pits like this, I think I've got it covered for anything that's thrown at me.
Our third team, some of you might recognize her from season 1 of Barbecue Pitmasters, the queen of barbecue, Leanne Whippen, and Wood Chicks Barbecue.
Cooking with me today on the Wood Chicks team is Billy Rhodes, my boyfriend. During season 1, we had a falling out. Now we're back together, and we've worked out our differences, I hope. With me today, I brought my new Jambo pit. I also brought my big green egg and my Weber Smoky Mountain bullet.
And finally, the next team are relative rookies in the barbecue world, but talented rookies nonetheless. Tyler Salyer and his crazy cool teachers, Big Mouth Smokers.
My name's Tyler Salyer. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. Big Mouth Smokers is a relatively young team. They kind of look at us like we're the babies of the bunch. And these teams had better not underestimate us. Big Mouth Smokers has brought 2 22-inch Weber Smoky Mountain cookers. We brought a 22-inch Weber kettle grill as well.
All right, Pitmasters, your classic meat challenge today is turducken. You have been given 10 hours to prepare, cook, and present your dishes to the judges. Now, many of you brought your own secret spices and rubs, but you also have our entire pantry at your disposal. You will be judged on flavor, tenderness, and presentation, and will be given a score of 0 to 10 points per judge. On the line is $5,000 in cold hard cash and a place in the finale for a chance to win, the biggest prize in barbecue history, $100,000, and the bragging rights with the Kingsford Cup. Turn-in time is 10 hours. Teams, start your smokers, and good smoking luck.
I've never had a turducken, but I know what they are. I'm thinking of taking that out, the back end of the backbone. So we took our deboned birds, and the first order of business was to just feel throughout the cavity just to make sure there was nothing sharp and trim off those objects. So after we trimmed the meat of each of these birds, we laid them out, dried them off a little bit, rubbed some olive oil on them, and hit it with our 3 Eyes Barbecue rub. We're gonna mix our injections. One thing I like to use for chicken is just a chicken noodle soup. So all we're doing is trying to get a little more moisture in there and a little more flavor.
Stepping into this competition and cooking a turducken, I'm completely clueless as to how this thing's going to turn out.
What we're trying to do is just infuse a little bit of moisture into the birds, get the birds to soak up some of this good flavor as well.
After allowing the birds to sit in the brine, we put them on the cutting boards. We check them one more time to see if there's any kind of excess fat.
A lot of it's going to render out, but there's so much fat that some of it wouldn't, and nobody wants to taste all that fat in their mouth. Nobody wants to taste something that nasty.
You know, traditionally, I like to cook hot and fast. You're not going to be able to do that here. You're going to have to slow it down because your turkey will wind up getting done before your internal parts get done.
I would imagine that you'd have to really control that temperature, because if not, you're going to burn that turkey on the outside.
My whole concern is make damn sure it's all done.
I've never cooked a turducken. They're kind of like this mystery meat that everybody talks about, but no one really knows about. I decided to take it a little bit different direction. I decided to go smaller. These other pit masters, they're doing full-size turduckens that take 8 hours to cook. Mine, they're gonna take about 4. I've decided to sear off that duck to try to crisp that up and get a little bit of a charcoal flavoring.
I've been cooking barbecue competition for 14 years and never have had to cook a turducken. The trick to my turducken coming out moist is preserving the moisture in the meat, and I'm going to try to do that by brining the turkey. The brine that I'm planning on using today is basically a salt sugar brine.
In our stuffing, we did a mix of white bread, sourdough, and cornbread, mixed in with some green pepper, onion, and bell pepper, and a touch of garlic, with some turkey stock for moisture. Never having laid out a turducken before, it's a little bit of an interesting process. And I think that's pretty good. After we get done with the first layer with the turkey and the stuffing, now you do the same thing. You put a layer of duck with stuffing, and then chicken in stuffing. Final layer. Our chicken goes down, and we did the same thing, making sure we have a nice uniform piece there in the center.
Just keep an eye on those.
Okay.
We're gonna actually do 3 different flavors in between each meat. Between the turkey and the duck is gonna be a sage dressing. Between the duck and the chicken is gonna be an apple and dried cherry stuffing. And inside the chicken is gonna be a roasted corn stuffing. It's gonna be bursting with all kinds of flavors.
I'm going to be making 2 different stuffings to go in my turducken. One will be a jalapeno cornbread type stuffing. I kind of like these. The other one will be a bread stuffing with Italian sausage.
All right, I got to think about how to put this thing together.
Looking around us and that everybody else is doing a stuffing, we feel like we can easily come up with a moist product that's just as good, if not better, than what all these other more experienced teams are cooking. We just went with straight up traditional herbs and spices to give it a well-rounded flavor that'll help increase the moisture in the turkey by having it steam and penetrate all the way to the top.
We got the thread and the twine. 1, 2. So we had enough meat to do 2 turduckens. You always want to back up just in case.
Lock and load, baby.
We're going to put them at 2 different temperatures in the pit. One higher at a higher temperature, one lower in the pit at a lower temperature. They should finish about an hour apart and give us some options here.
Easy, easy.
Relax. I'm not a surgeon.
You're tearing that. Stop pulling so hard.
I'm gonna cook the turduckens at 225 for approximately 4 hours.
All right, let's tie this up. I've never been much of a seamstress, but we'll give it a shot.
Right now I'm being a turkey surgeon, and I'm sewing up him so that he won't lose all of his stuffing when he's cooking. Holy cow. That was tough. You know what? It looks pretty good. If it doesn't explode in the middle of cooking, we'll be in good shape. Now that I have my turducken all sewed up, I am going to set them on some strips of bacon, again, to help with that moisture content and flavor, and also create drippings for my gravy that I want to make. And then I'm going to dry rub the whole entire turkey heavily, and then put bacon on top of that. All right, we're putting it in our smoker now. And we're putting it in the cooker at 275 degrees, and we're going to use pecan and applewood today. Perfect. This is the hot and fast turkey going on now. The reason why I'm cooking 2 turduckens, one hot and fast, one low and slow, is so that I have an edge on my competition. It'll be a great strategy for me because I have 2 choices of what I can turn in.
I did not learn how to sew up a turkey in home ec.
Once it's all completely sewn, we take olive oil and rub the bird down really good, and then we apply our rub on top of it.
All right, we're good. Turducken 1. Turducken 2.
Turducken 2.
On.
We got
lid. On.
Lid on.
We're there.
We're doing both of our turduckens low and slow. We know it's going to taste good. We just got to let it do its thing.
All right.